Hi, everyone. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for everyone to join in, and we'll start the session after that. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in on this webinar on how to start with AI in testing. AI in general is the trending topic, not even in testing, but in our day-to-day lives. So let us explore what it means for testers and QA. I will start with the introductions. I am Unmesh. I work with BrowserStack, specifically in the product growth strategy team. I work in the positioning of AI and the platform. As all of you know, BrowserStack has a suite of products, and our team works in aligning the synergies of all the products and then determining the position and go-to-market strategy for all of those projects. And we also have Maria. She's a quality engineer leader at Regent. So I mean, Maria will also introduce herself when her talk starts. Let me quickly walk you through the agenda, and I will hand it over to Maria. Just a few housekeeping items. This session is being recorded, and the duration of this session is like approx 1 hour. All participants will be muted to enable us to engage without interruptions. The recording will be made available to you guys after the webinar, and a dedicated Q&A session will be at the end. So please use your Zoom Q&A window to send in your questions, and we'll be answering them. So this is the agenda for today. So Maria will start with the main speech, which is how to start in AI in testing. And also then I will walk you through some AI thought leadership, what we think is happening in the world of AI, which is relevant for testers, and how BrowserStack is thinking about AI, what is our vision, and we have a few AI agents. We'll talk about them and demo one of them. And lastly, we'll just touch upon how BrowserStack AI is like better than your generic ChatGPT or Gemini. And then we can have a Q&A session. So a quick poll question. So where do you use AI in your daily job? I know a lot of people use ChatGPT just to create and generate test cases and everything. You can just drop in whatever you use AI for. We'll wait for a minute. Yeah, I see some responses coming in. Interesting. So even I use ChatGPT a lot and Gemini. I mean, we at BrowserStack has a Gemini subscription for all of us, so we use Gemini a lot. And I specifically like the deep research part of it. Cool, interesting answers. So I will hand it over to Maria now. Maria, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my slides first. Are they visible now?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Okay, let's start then. Well, imagine stepping into a boxing ring. In the other corner, you see not another human, but like a giant, real giant, big robot. And the crowd is screaming, "Yeah, you're going to lose, you're going to lose." And this robot is really fast. It never sleeps. It doesn't need to eat, to rest, and it does a lot of things in its database. It knows more data than you could ever memorize or read in the books. But here's the twist. What if instead of fighting this robot, you would shake its hand? What if instead of being your opponent, the robot became your teammate, your friend, right? And then suddenly this unbeatable force is no longer against you. It 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 it's with you. It becomes your friend. Well, my name is Maria. I'm a tester, I'm a curious human, I'm someone who spent years thinking about how people and technology could work together, could complete each other. And if you want to know a bit more about me, or if you want to chat about something, feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. You have a QR code there on the slide. Well, there is a lot of marketing noise around AI, and in this situation, it's quite hard to to distinguish what's right and what's wrong. And I would like to kind of stay sane and find a balance between hype and reality, what's right and what's wrong. And in this talk, I'm going to cut through the hype and share some research-backed perspectives on AI in testing. And but by the end of this talk, my goal is to leave you with some practical tips. Of course, I'm not the AI god. I don't know everything. I'm just a human. But I want to leave you with some inspiration on how to thrive in QA role by applying AI wisely. And well, AI is, of course, here to stay. No question about that. But so are we testers. And let's check how we can use AI in our work. Well, here's the first big idea that I want to plant in your head, kind of. And it's AI has significant limits, especially when it comes to tasks like software testing, because testing requires a lot of human insight, right? And because of those limits, human testers are, I believe, they're not going away anytime soon. And in fact, I believe that the future belongs to those who can combine what AI does best, with what we humans do best. It's just about finding those best things to combine. To unpack that, let's explore three angles: the social, the technical, and ethical. And those angles, they kind of shape how AI fits into our work and into our lives. And together, these three will give us a well-rounded picture of why we testers, why we still matter in the AI era, and how we can make the most of this technology. Well, social aspects, they looked at how this new technology, how AI impacts both individuals and also different social groups or communities. Technical aspects is what practical challenges and innovations are involved in the project, how it works, and where the limits are. And ethical aspects, they are about how we can ensure responsible and fair and ethical use of AI technology. And together, these three aspects, they tell us how something powerful, that AI is strong, but it's not complete. It's not flawless. Let's start with social aspects. Well, LLMs are absolutely changing how we write and speak, and you probably noticed that already, both on LinkedIn and in emails and in your everyday life, right? And it's not always happening in a good way, right? We all start kind of sounding the same. Over time, this leads to losing our uniqueness, our authenticity. And this in turn affects if people are trusting us. Well, believe me or not, it influences also project outcomes and job security. And recent research also shows that how we speak, how we communicate, whether it sounds robotic or not, it affects project results and testing. Another study shows that after the rise of LLMs, our willingness to share knowledge, to ask questions, significantly dropped. And the decline after the rise of LLMs is, of course, it's concerning, but not very surprising because often there are quite a lot of questions, that people don't dare asking their colleagues because we think, oh, that's a stupid questions, what they're going to think about us. It's so scary to ask. Well, but it's much easier to chat with a soulless chatbot, right? And that's good that we have this option. But still, remember that communication is very, very important. It relies on curiosity, on doubt, and it and challenge, which virtual communication with AI just can't provide. Um, Another social factor is who is using AI, and inside this factor, there's a gender dimension. Well, Gen AI tools, they're used more by men, that's no secret, and often it happens because they feel more confident using AI, using new tech in general, and many women feel underrepresented or less visible in this space. What are the reasons? This is a problem because we all know that diversity equals better outcomes and different perspectives catch different issues. And the last thing we want is that AI is making this gender gap in tech even more rather than helping closing it. So if you see any female colleague struggling with AI, just try to encourage her to use it a bit more and support her. So what do we do about all these social challenges? I believe that we need to support each other, of course, and share even small success stories. Work environment needs to be a safe space for experimentations. People actually tend to experiment more when they know that it's okay to play. It's okay to create this little AI pet project during working hours, not when we're home with the family and so on. Removing this uncertainty and creating clear guidelines, like saying that, okay, you are allowed to experiment with AI during working hours. It really helps a lot. And in my team, we decided to have an AI sandbox coffee time on Fridays where we share both success and failures because we'll learn a lot from failures, right? We know how not to do, and that's a big thing. And there, anyone can bring an AI related experiment and just talk about it. That's great, I think. Now, let's have a look at main technical challenges in AI adoption. Well, we hear a lot about what AI can do, right? But it's equally important to know also what it technically can't do. One emerging concern is something called model collapse. And it basically means that we might run out of human-made data for training LLMs because AI tools, they're creating more and more content online, and then this means that there will be less human created data to use for training. And eventually get copy of copy and copy, and then LLMs learn on what they previously produced. And we can also see this type of problems right now with the with less progress in model, uh, yeah, with model advancements, right? Well, using synthetic data to train models helps save resources, of course, and bypass challenges like copyright restrictions or privacy issues. However, relying too much on self-generated data that's used to overcome model collapse, right? It can also cause some problems because making models it makes models worse over time, and this type of model decline is also called model collapse, and that's kind of what is happening when models learn on their own produced data. One more thing that we need to kind of keep in mind is that current models don't have spatial understanding. They're just and they don't have any perspective. They don't have any imagination, which leads to big struggles with reasoning. They know only they kind of produce text based on text, but they don't have the same feeling of space as we humans do. And many studies show that even small changes in standard benchmark questions that big LLM providers use to evaluate their performance. So even small changes in these standard benchmark questions result in big drop in performance and correctness of LLM's answers. So keep in mind this thing and try to eliminate it. I believe that technical challenges shouldn't stop innovation. But let's not forget that Gen AI is a bit unpredictable because it's not deterministic and it's irrational by design, and that's okay. Because treating its output as truth without any checks, it's quite risky, right? But as testers, we know that trusting black boxes without double checking, without questioning them is a bad idea. But knowing the limitations of AI systems, it makes our life easier because we then know where is the best use case to apply it and where to use our human insight instead. And last but very important aspect is ethical side of things. Well, if the technical stuff was more about can it work, then the ethical aspect is more about should we do it, should we use it, and under what conditions. As you all know, AI doesn't run on magic. It runs on electricity, and it needs a lot of it. And training a large model can consume amounts of electricity equivalent to the energy used by thousands of households in a year. And running these models for millions of users worldwide adds even more to the energy demand. And energy demand right now is so high that, for example, in US, they started to reopen old oil plants. Well, is this the way we want to go? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Another ethical concern is the concentration of power. As I mentioned, building top-tier AI is very expensive, and it's not like, making a mobile app in your garage because training models requires a lot of computational power and big amounts of training data. And unfortunately, no university can afford it. And only tiny number of big tech companies have enough resources to innovate in this field. Well, this is a bit scary because without independent innovation, it might lead us to one-sided applications that are only serving to the needs of big tech companies. But there is also a possibility here, right? We can do our own research in locally in our companies. We could use other tools and not concentrate only on generic chatbots, right? And we could use more specialized tools to support even other providers. One example of how LLM responses worsen social gaps, like for example, we just discussed with the gender gap. There is also other dimension of it, and it could produce biased data. And it could be based on dialect, race, income source, and so on. And right now, it's not a theory because that's a fact. Because, for example, here in Sweden, when social security agencies started to apply AI for decision making, just a few, I don't know, it was maybe 6 months ago or so. So they started to use AI to make the decisions about social allowance payments for different social groups that need support, like, when you're on parental leave or if you're sick, then you get money from the government. And believe it or not, but most vulnerable social groups just got ignored by this AI system. It's been a big scandal, and it took public outcry and media coverage for officials to kind of pause and stop, shut down this system and get back to human evaluation again. So what is the remedy and the magic pill for this type of problems? Well, that's human accountability. We must bake in ethics from the start when we use AI. And that actually means diverse teams. That means clear guidelines about how to use and where it's not acceptable. It means creating ethical committees, both internally and externally. And if we ignore this type of issues instead and don't look at the data that is used to fuel AI systems, we might end up in a world where there is no place for diversity, where there is no place for care. So we should keep it in mind. So, what does all this tell us? It tells us that AI, for all its magic, it needs us. It still needs us. It needs our questions, it needs our curiosity, creativity, our consciousness to truly work well. And considering what we just discussed about AI research, I strongly believe that the best we can do is to meet this AI challenge with pride, with confidence, continuing testing as we did before, and apply it as any other normal technology, knowing these limitations and knowing strong sides of AI systems. And now let's check how we as testing professionals could start using AI in ethical in a good way that will help our that will help us be better at testing. Well, my bet is that the future of QA, and really the future of most knowledge work is in human and AI collaboration. And those who learn how to work with AI, how to use it, will thrive, and those who ignore it or maybe lean on it too heavily, they might struggle. Let's get very practical now. Well, how can anyone use the information we've just discussed? Here are some actionable tips and strategies that work for my team where I work right now. Well, when introducing AI into your testing process, my recommendation is to begin with low risk and high reward applications. For example, at one of our products, we use a custom AI tool based on OpenAI API to sift through the log, to sift through log files, to go through them and look for anomalies that we kind of can't detect with the help of traditional deterministic tools. And this way, by starting with small contained experiments, my team gains hands-on experience without putting the whole project at great risk, right? That's a good starting point. It's also important to define clear objectives for AI assistance. For example, we want to reduce escape defects by 10% by the end of the year. And then this kind of keeps this integration meaningful. And keep in mind that it's important to keep an eye on the results, and if the AI or the tool that you chose to use is not meeting the objectives or causing too many problems, then don't be afraid to let it go. Don't be afraid to try something else. Well, if an AI writes test scripts, then try to treat them like code from maybe a junior developer, and always do code review, always, because well, incorporating manual exploratory testing alongside with AI testing to catch any nuanced errors, it's a good thing. Essentially, what you can do is making QA of the AI work as part of your process, and this not only maintains quality, it also improves the AI use over time, because as you feed back corrections or adjust parameters, then you make the whole system and AI application better. And as you delegate more tactical tasks to AI, more focused tasks to AI, try to use the freed up time to elevate your role, to elevate your position in the team. For instance, you could join design discussions to advocate for testability or more user-centric design, because no AI can do that, right? And try to think about quality metrics and how to improve, not just finding bugs, but preventing them. And by doing these higher level activities, you could make yourself more integral to the team's success. And AI actually gives us opportunity here, since it can reduce amount of grunt work, day-to-day work. We finally have more time to focus on the strategic, on the big picture tasks, and just try to embrace this opportunity. One more thing that I wanted to mention is keep collaborating with your stakeholders, with your colleagues, with developers, other testers, product owners, users, and so on and so on. And use AI generated insights as conversation starter to make it a real conversation later on. And don't forget to share your success and failures in using AIs. And if you find something great that works for you, let the team know. It's interesting. It's cool. And it will also help your own professional reputation, your own growth. Because if you're seen as someone who's kind of who's innovating, who's bringing the change, then it's totally good for you. Well, AI in QA is not the end of our profession. To me, it's a completely new chapter, and the idea that AI will replace us is too simple, and it's not backed by reality, not at all. And yes, of course, QA is changing, but change brings opportunity. If we know AI limits and strengths on the other side, then we can let it handle the routine while we focus on what humans do best. Well, of course, when you try to look at AI, it could feel terrifying. You don't know where to start, right? But as soon as when you step forward, when you shake the hand of this big robot, and bring it to your corner, you suddenly have something unstoppable. You have an unstoppable partner, right? And yeah, don't fear AI, don't worship it. Just stay curious, stay critical, keep learning, and now everything will be fine. Well, long live human intelligence, long live testing. Thank you for coming, and I'm looking forward for your questions.
Thanks for that talk, Maria. That was wonderful. Even I learned a lot in today's session, especially the ethical parts of it. And also, I didn't know that we are running out of data by 2028 to test the models.
Yeah.
And even in our company, we had an AI week, like I think a month back, just to understand and be aware of what other teams are using AI for, so that there is that cross pollination, so that we can learn from other teams. And whenever a use case presents itself, like we can like incorporate those workflows as well. Yeah, great. Okay, let me share my screen. And we are going to look into how the future is going to look like. Like this is our view of how the future is going to look like. So in many ways, we echo with whatever Maria said right now. So AI is not the silver bullet. We need AI and human collaboration. We've seen similar concerns that testing is going to end when automation happened, when frameworks like Selenium are in full swing. People thought that, okay, very few testers will be needed to write the code and manual testing will be eliminated, but that is not the case. Like manual testing is thriving even now, and more testers, the testing as a quality guardrail has only become more and more important, and that is going to be the same with AI. So let us see why that is the case. So AI is boosting developer velocity, like generating code is now easier than ever, and more code is being generated by AI at a faster pace as well. So because of that, the user interfaces are also evolving. So we are used to the normal websites and normal SaaS applications, but the user interfaces are evolving in the sense that there is a lot of voice now which is taking over. We are actively talking with AI agents, and they are automated workflows, and the websites itself are becoming more customized, more complex. So there are two things happening. The software velocity, the amount of software that is being generated is increasing, and the complexity of software that is being generated is also increasing. And that is where we can take use of AI. So more code equals to more testing. And within by the next 5 years, we assume that to catch up with the explosion in the software development, more and more QA talent and testing talent is needed, because testing is the last quality gate before the software gets shipped to the customers. And as of now, AI generated code is not as accurate or not as good as human generated ones. So QA becomes even more important, because we are the last gate there. So there is an opportunity for us with that increased software velocity to embrace AI to make testing easier, at least the boring parts of it, right? As Maria mentioned in her talk as well, let AI automate the easier ones, the mundane tasks, and let the humans focus on more strategic items. Let me go to the next slide. So this is how we at BrowserStack think about AI. So we've divided all the testing into a bunch of tasks, and we, instead of having AI for everything, instead of having one single agent that can do everything, which cannot happen right now, because there are very strategic aspects of testing which even AI cannot automate. It needs some human interference. So we have looked at all of these JTBDs, which are jobs to be done, and so what are the JTBDs that can be automated accurately, reliably at an enterprise level, right? Because enterprises, this the one main concern uh, like we see from enterprises is that uh, the accuracy of AI is not that good. I mean, we have tried adopting AI, but the accuracy is not that good, so we dropped it, because enterprises need that reliability, need that accuracy. So we've identified parts of the testing life cycle, and so what all we can automate with AI currently. And then what we did is we've created AI agents. So for example, in test management, there is a test case generator agent. Test case generation can be accurately done right now with the current AI sophistication. So we have gone ahead and created test case generator agent that is better than other generic tools, and that has like more than 90% accuracy, which can readily be used by enterprises as of now. So you can see we have like 20 plus AI agents across the platform. We have many upcoming. We have 10 plus agents already live, embedded across all of your BrowserStack products. So currently test management, we are reimagining test management as a AI powered full stack test management, which is very different from the traditional tools all of you have been using. Uh, so we've seen a lot of traction for these AI tools. And let me ask you a question. Let me pause and ask you a question. Like, how would you like to explore how BrowserStack AI can enhance your testing workflows? We want to know your thoughts so that like we can improve our product, or maybe there are use cases we might have missed that we can automate with AI, what you're using AI for. I'll just wait a minute for the responses. Yep, I see some responses coming in. Great. I think we can move to the next slide. So as I said earlier, we are like reimagining test management with AI. We have 7 AI agents in test management to automate different tasks. Because AI is a general intelligence, right? We have to focus it and give it a particular task for the output to be better. So that's the reason we've created like custom agents. And for each agent, there is a lot of engineering that goes behind to make the output as accurate as possible, which we will talk about later as well. But I want to show you a demo on how the test case generator agent works. Uh, Let me play the video. We're starting with the demo where we can generate test cases from a sample PRD. You can just upload your PRD and click on generate test cases, and it does generate all the test cases. And the agent also creates a lot of edge cases so that they're not missed. In fact, it creates test cases which are often missed by humans as well. You can also quickly review and edit all the test cases. You can also give it a prompt after you upload a PRD. Let's say if you only want functional test cases, you can also do that. It also works well with unstructured PRDs. So generally PRDs are not very structured, or there might be some lack of clarity. The AI agent works well even in that case. This is a demo for that. And this AI agent is built to understand context from various sources, not only from PRDs, from Jira stories, from Confluence pages, from Figma, from your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, videos, images. So we are adding a lot of sources so that the AI gets most of the context and gives the most relevant output. These are some of the outcomes we've seen. Many teams have improved their test coverage. So for example, teams which are not doing accessibility earlier, because the test case generation and execution is so much easier with AI-enabled workflows, we have seen that teams have increased their test coverage, and also the test case creation, of course, is much faster with AI, 90%. And the best thing about uh, it is very accurate, so that not a lot of time is wasted in review, going through all the test cases and eliminating the duplicate ones and editing them for them to be more accurate. All of that manual work is eliminated. Yeah, you can go ahead to BrowserStack test management webpage and also like schedule a demo if you want to see more about all the other AI agents and how they work. Now, let us see. I know all of you have one question, which is how is BrowserStack AI better than the normal tools that I use, for example, ChatGPT. So with BrowserStack, from the beginning, we have unified test data. Since we have a lot of products, for them to work together, for them to have synergies, we have a unified data store, which means that AI gets a lot of context from your project, not only the PRD that you're uploading or not only the prompt you're giving. It gets a lot of context because you're using multiple BrowserStack products, or even if you're using one product, it gets context from your project, your previous test cases, and everything. So that this enhanced context will boost the AI intelligence. And we have been in the industry for more than 14 years. We are pioneers in real device testing, cloud-based real device testing. So we know a lot about testing, and we embed all of that business context while we are building AI agents as well. And all of our agents are optimized for context and accuracy. For example, uh, let's say there is a task generating test cases. It is not taken by us as one task. We break it down into, let's say, 10 or 15 subtasks, and we do deep engineering on each of that subtask and determine which LLM is most suited for that subtask. And also, we intelligently stitch all of that output together so that it is much more accurate. And we do a lot of prompt engineering, and we do a lot of fine tuning, and there are levels of checks that the AI output goes through so that it is ready to be used by the enterprises. And it is seamlessly connected within your BrowserStack products. You don't have to go to a third-party tool and then give it your sensitive data, and also go through that manual process of copy pasting, going through the output and then rectifying it. So rest assured, with BrowserStack AI, the accuracy and the output is much better than the generic tools. And I also hear a lot of concerns on privacy. We don't use customer data to train our models. We use our proprietary data to train our models. So your data is not being used by BrowserStack or any of the service that BrowserStack uses to generate the AI output. Okay, we have another poll question. Which other AI related testing topics would you like to learn more about? We keep conducting these webinars, and we have a lot of in-person events as well. So we just want to know what you guys want to learn about so that we can bring in speakers that can talk about those. And we can also like pull in our internal resources so that we can have more and more of these sessions. I'll just wait for a minute for responses. Great. Now let's move to the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, just drop it in the Zoom Q&A chat bot and we will answer them. Okay, there is a question. From your experience, what's the biggest barrier to AI adoption in testing teams? Uh, okay, I can take it up and we can get Maria's thoughts as well on it. Uh, so one of the biggest barrier we see is, of course, the know-how. The first thing is know-how. People who don't have any exposure to AI tools are often overwhelmed by the complexity of it. When they see their teammates building AI agents or building automated AI workflows and they are just starting up, that is a bit overwhelming. So my suggestion would be take it slow. I think there are a lot of great resources online to get started on AI. And the next thing is the risk. Many enterprises are very apprehensive of sharing their data with a third party, let's say with ChatGPT or Gemini, because they're afraid that the sensitive data can be lost. So these are the two main barriers that I see for AI adoption.
Yeah, I would
Maria,
like to,
what do you think?
yeah, sure. I would like to fill in a bit here. And what I see on my projects also is the is kind of fear that you don't know how it works, and it feels like magic, right? And then you don't know where to start, even if you want to. So my advice here is to get to know the basics, to understand the theory behind how LLMs work and how Gen AI works, because that's the main technology behind most of the AI tools right now. And it's not super complicated. And I encourage you to read a bit about the basics of LLMs and how they work, and then it will be much easier to um, understand and identify the areas where there will be most profitable and meaningful to apply AI at your project.
Yeah. We have another question. In an AI-driven world, which soft skills should testers prioritize for risk-based decisions? Uh, I wouldn't say soft skill, but one very important thing is to be critical. So you shouldn't take AI output as gospel. You should know what quality output looks like. You should know all the underlying theory so that you'll be able to judge AI's output. I've seen many people who are just starting out. They just agree to whatever AI is saying. So because they don't have a lot of context on how to judge the output. Let's say if I ask, okay, create, just taking the example that we've seen a demo on, create test cases. Let's say it has created 100 test cases. You should have the knowledge or the context to go through those 100 test cases and determine which one of them are important, which of those test cases are not required, and which of them are inaccurate, because AI also hallucinates. You shouldn't import all of those 100 test cases in your test suite. You should know which 90 or 80 of them you should use. Maria, what do you think?
Yeah, sure. Critical thinking, that's the best future proof skill that we could cultivate in ourselves. And then on top of this, I would say leadership skills, because as we get more help from AI doing routine work, we need to be more proactive in being a leader, kind of at promoting quality, at spreading the word about quality AI testing, and being the leader in invention, in innovating fields. And also, of course, the old good communication skills. That's the basics, that's the fundamentals of everything that we do, and it's becoming even more important with the AI coming into our profession.
We have a question on BrowserStack AI agents. Okay, I can take that up. How do BrowserStack's AI agents address common research highlighted gaps in test automation? Okay, so I spoke a bit about it in the slide. I'll also talk more about it. So what are the main gaps that are existing right now is that generic AI models hallucinate and the accuracy is not that good. So we have done a benchmarking with ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT's accuracy, we've seen ChatGPT's coverage and everything. So when ChatGPT's accuracy is around 60 to 70%, our because of our deep engineering behind every AI agent, our accuracy is close to 90%, and our North Star is having 98, 99%, which we will achieve in, let's say, around 1 year. And the next thing is privacy. As I said, this is the main concern of a lot of big enterprises. Maybe startups or small enterprises are not very scared of it, but big enterprises have a lot of sensitive data, and BrowserStack already has a lot of privacy guardrails, even for our core products. All of our cloud-based devices are wiped clean after every test session. We have been following very rigorous privacy protocols, and that applies for AI as well. So for every AI agent we are building, you can be assured that your data is not being shared with any other third party, and it's not being used by BrowserStack as well to train its models. Yeah. So got it. Okay. Let us move on. So we have a lot of events coming up. So we have an upcoming webinar on AI-powered transformation in modern software testing on 1st October. And we have a session on how to scale your AI with agentic AI strategies on 1st October as well. So check it out. Go to BrowserStack events webpage and you'll get all the information. You can also join our Discord community. We have a very large community of testers there every day discussing their common problem, how to deal. AI is also a trending topic in our Discord channel. So if you want to know more about how other testers in other companies are using AI, you can join our Discord community.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to ask any questions. I will be there to answer them if you come up with anything later on.
Yeah. And you should see a link on the chat box. You can, if you have used BrowserStack products or planning to use some of them, I highly recommend getting a demo. Just go to the website and get a demo of one of our products and use it, and just review it, review BrowserStack, and get a gift card. We at BrowserStack value feedback a lot, so we'd love to know how your experience with BrowserStack has been, so that we can continuously improve. Yeah, I think that's it for today's session. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Maria, for the speech, and thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks the BrowserStack team for organizing this. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice evening.